Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. One more. Jamie Raskin yesterday.
But I do feel as if his offenses, his fraud, his lies pale in comparison to the lies and fraud of Donald Trump, whose big lie that he won the presidential election, which he lost by more than 7 million votes, 306 to 232 in the Electoral College, then led to his incitement of a violent insurrection against the Union. And so all those Republicans who voted to expel Santos should drop their support for Donald Trump immediately, who certainly engaged in far bigger lies than anything George Santos ever attempted.
I mean, that's the point, right, Lee? That,
that's the point
he's the front
Psaki made
runner
last
in their
night
party.
too. It's listen, if he's too much for you, then the boy that's up on the 91 charges should be way too much for you.
Yeah. That's why I felt like Friday, Lee, was such a great day for the rule of law, at least. Judge Chutkan's, this was just a mic drop, wasn't it? She said the court cannot conclude that our Constitution cloaks former presidents with absolute immunity for any federal crimes they committed while in office, she wrote. So this will likely then go to an appeals court before Trump's criminal trial, which is in March. His opinion, or her opinion, Chutkan's opinion, came after an appeals court said earlier that Trump could be sued in civil proceedings related to January 6th as well. So that was a 1-2 punch. And her other part, whatever immunities a sitting president may enjoy, the United States only has one chief executive at a time, and that position does not confer a lifelong get-out-of-jail-free pass. Former presidents enjoy no special conditions on their federal criminal liability. Defendant may be subject to federal investigation, indictment, prosecution, conviction, and punishment for any criminal acts undertaken while in office. Thank God, right? It
just feels like
sense.
I can't believe we have to say this stuff.
Right.
This should not be something a judge needs to say. This should be so obvious to the American people that we created an entire country to remove ourselves from a monarchy, right?
Yeah.
That was the whole point. We wanted to be an independently run republic, and that has checks and balances, and that no one has. There's a reason that the president doesn't have full autonomous power, the kind of power that Donald Trump is actively saying he's going to put back in if he gets back into office. He's going to consolidate the power of the federal government around himself. He's going to consolidate the power of the DOJ under his own thumb. I mean, what he keeps saying when he says that, and I keep thinking, how come we aren't noticing this? One of the things he's saying is, I'm going to make the DOJ underneath the will of the president. So the president gets to dictate what the DOJ does. And what he's saying, and what people keep missing, is that that's not the way it is now. That's not the way it was set up. And so when people keep saying, the Biden Justice Department, Biden is prosecuting Trump, and Biden is going after his political enemies, and you're like, he's absolutely not, because the DOJ is a completely autonomous group. Yeah. And then on top of that, Donald Trump keeps saying he's going to have to consolidate the DOJ under himself, under the presidential power, because it's not like that right now.
Yeah.
That is not how it works.
I love that they just asked his lawyers asked him to throw out the charges because Trump was working to ensure election integrity. His official capacity as president. I mean, I'm waiting for some judge to just say, "Are you kidding me? Seriously? Are you going to cite Godzilla versus Mothra next? What?"
I think we're all waiting for karma to be like, "Are you kidding me?" You know what I mean? There has to be some point where, because there's just days that I think, okay.
Yeah,
we're still doing this, and then I see people underneath, that DeSantis Newsom debate that just happened, which, by the way, was excellent, and it was lovely to see a debate the way, first of all, it should be run. Secondly,
I gulped
it was
it
lovely
down
to
like
see
salty MAGA tears.
The whole thing was just watching Gavin talk about policy and knowing what he was talking about. I felt like, dreamy. Can we just have more of this, please?
Yeah, it's a shame about his looks, though. Oh well. Yeah. By the way, I apologize if you hear the endless whining while you're talking. That's my dog, Klein. I know that you and your husband have a child, so maybe you're used to endless whining while you're talking, but...
There's a doggo not so happy?
Yeah, well, there is no two-bone solution in here. This is all the Gaza Strip over here. Yeah.
I see. Okay. So it's the power of it's only one person can get it. That's we don't mean I feel like that's in theme. I think that's in theme with what we're talking about.
I just keep thinking, she's making such good points. I hope she can't hear that. Just... Okay.
No, I mean, this is a weird time. We're living through an incredibly weird time, and I think that we need to get really serious about it. I mean, you were talking before your break about Liz Cheney and her, new book that she has coming out. And she's dead right. We need to get completely serious. And like, listen, I'm happy Liz Cheney is writing her book. I'm happy she's naming names. I entirely agree with her that we are sleepwalking our way into a dictatorship.
Yeah.
And, it's great that she's not holding back and she's being very clear about what threat is to American democracy with a name like Cheney and a background like she has. But I will say, she's not saying anything that Democrats haven't been saying for frickin' years. She's not saying anything you and I haven't been saying for years. And I think it's so interesting. People are like, wow, here she's telling us how it really
is. There's more credence because she's a Republican.
You how it really is for forever. It's just that she has the conservative moniker and superhero cape of her father on her.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that she's standing up for it. But this is stuff we've been saying for forever. This is a really deeply
and you're right. That goes back to the media.
Time.
Oh, they automatically have more credibility because they're a Republican. It's like, no, she's saying the exact same thing. She said almost the same thing Lawrence Tribe just said this weekend.
Or Jamie Raskin or Adam Schiff during any of the impeachment hearings. I mean, we've been saying it over and over and over again, beating the drum, and it's a leftist, plot. And then Liz Cheney says it, and people are like, huh. Mm-hmm. And I think, great. If someone's listening, wonderful.
I do like the way Republicans know how to fight, whether it's Lincoln Project or Liz Cheney. And this is why you are an alpha liberal, despite how pretty you are. This is what we love.
That. Both things. I like being an alpha.
But alpha liberals, we always talk about this. This is what we need more of, right? The Eric Swalwells and the people. But I loved what Dick Durbin did. The headline, GOP melts down as Dick Durbin uses its own tactics for advancing Biden judges. They just can't. They literally think there should be two sets of rules, right? Republicans on the Senate Judiciary had full-blown meltdowns. Was that Lindsey's second meltdown of the day? Yeah, he stormed out. On Dick Durbin as he held votes on two of Biden's judicial nominees without allowing debate on them, saying he was simply following the new precedent established by Republicans when they did the same thing to Democrats twice. He appeared to completely blindside Republicans by moving straight to votes. Both nominees had two previous hearings and had already been debated. So good for him, right?
Yeah, good for him. It's about time.
I love this. Tom Cotton got so mad he started talking about himself in the third person. He said, Mr. Cotton says the chairman needs to rethink his position. That's what Mr. Cotton says. John Cornyn said, congratulations on destroying the United States Senate Judiciary Committee. Such drama queens, aren't they? All of them.
Oh, my God. I mean, honestly, but this is the same thing as like any bully, where you end up standing up to them or you use their own tactics against them. They literally crumble like a house of cards. They cannot do it. They are so used to getting away with everything. And if what you're calling is an alpha liberal, I will take so many more alpha liberals because there are rules in place. There are ways you can fight back. When they say fight fire with fire, that doesn't mean we also have to be rule breaking, criminal masterminds. It means that we need to say, here are the loopholes they're jumping through. We either close those loopholes or we jump through them ourselves. Right. We either acknowledge which ones they are, whatever they're doing to hold up every single Tommy Tuberville to hold up every single nomination. And you say, okay, what do we do? We're going to change the rules so that he can't do that anymore. You have to fight fire with fire in that. There is, while staying within the rule of law, because they would love it if we broke the rule of law, because then there would be no rule of law, and that's how they want to live anyway. We need to keep fighting fire with fire while staying within the confines of the kind of country we want, which is a democratic country, a rule of law country, a country where it doesn't matter who you are responsible for your actions, this kind of thing. And so we have to live like, I think the way the Democrats are handling, this Bob Menendez thing, like they're like, okay, well, let him have his day in court, but we're already primering him. Here's our new guy. We don't like him. We're not behind him. Like, we can't do anything about it now because he hasn't been convicted, and we don't want to set that precedent. But as soon as this primary goes through, he's out. No, we're not standing behind him on this.
Lee, here's another, for instance, I want to get your take on. So the headline is Democrats are sitting on 400 pages of evidence on Ivanka and Jared Kushner's financial deals. So the hearings would likely be conducted by Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who I love, and with an assist from Jamie Raskin, who's been leading the way collecting information on Trump and his scams. I mean, as you know, and we all know, there's no there with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, and there they are. They're going right ahead with impeachment or whatever. We keep saying, I mean, I absolutely think they should go ahead with this. That is, I mean, how much did they make while they were in the White House?
600 million or something.
I mean, it's insane. The $2 billion Jared Kushner got. The fact that, we're just going to let that go while they do this Hunter Biden thing, I think is crazy. What do you think?
I'm hoping it's strategic because there's no way they didn't break a million laws. She made something like $640 million while in office, while having a title in the White House and, an office in the White House. He made $2 billion post the presidency for, as far as I can see, basically giving up Jamal Khashoggi and making deals with them. They are absolute criminal monsters, those two. They are heartless criminal monsters, and she really is her father's daughter. She knows where her bread is buttered. She knows when to go into the background. She knows when to come forward. Right now, we're hearing about Eric and Don Jr. all the time in these civil trials, and she's kind of drifting along the sidelines. And she's the smartest one of all three of them. That she knows exactly
not saying
what's
a lot,
going
but
on.
yes. She's not in the Fredo competition, but okay.
But I honestly think that I'm hoping that this is strategic, that they don't want to muddy the waters right now, that they have the evidence, that they will do the election, and then provided we keep democracy's head above water, Joe Biden is reelected, we take back the House, then it's just like a free-for-all on every single one of these people that they have mounds and piles of evidence. It's the same reason that
actual corruption.
Jack Smith has these 6 unindicted co-conspirators in his case. He didn't name them. They're not named yet. It doesn't mean they're not going to call whoever they might be. It could be people in Congress. I hope it's people in Congress. Those people are absolutely insurrectionists. But if you added them to it right now, look at all the things Donald Trump is doing to slow down his case. If you added one more person to that mix, it just adds it. We need to have it all done before the election. So I feel like it's strategic, and that's what I'm hoping it is, because there's no way those two skate. There's just, I personally won't tolerate it.
God's ears.